LaQuesia Hunley. I'm the problem solving specialist here at the Access Center at Weingart Center. I wanted to introduce Mr. Willie Young. He was an Access Center client who has now moved into his permanent housing. Willie Young's story began, he discovered Weingart Access Center through Google search before he relocated to Los Angeles from Memphis. The one thing I can say about Mr. Young is that he was very adamant in getting help when he came into the resource center. And we get so much of a crowd coming in of clients in need of housing that sometimes it's just fill out a paperwork, have a seat, and we'll give you a call back. But Mr. Young, he wasn't able to verbally say anything, but he waited so patiently until someone was able to talk to him, and that's when I discovered that he wasn't able to vocally express his need. So I was able to bring him in. We had a conversation, and I noticed that our conversation was in writing. And I said, wow, okay, this is going to teach me a lesson on patience, and being able to communicate and making sure that Mr. Young was able to get proper resources, even though we wasn't able to verbally communicate, but this is another form of communication. So a little explanation medically with Mr. Young is that he worked at a landfill in Memphis, Tennessee, and suffered an injury to his neck from lead poisoning, which became cancer and a tumor. And 3 surgeries later, he's cancer free. So I mentioned my role as a problem solving specialist. I am here to assist our clients with moving costs once our clients receive permanent housing. So because some of our clients are on low budgets or not able to pay for the moving costs, that's when the problem solving funds is available for them. For example, their security deposits, the first and last month's rent, and we also have a pot of funds for furniture as well. So Weingart is able to assist their clients not only with helping them with their housing search, but we also help with their moving costs so that it would end their status of homelessness. I know from a service provider standpoint, um, because of having a client load, I put aside time for me to follow up directly with the landowners of the property. So I emailed all of us who was in the same email, and then I will call and speak on his behalf directly to the property managers, letting them know that I was his advocate and following up on his application, and if they can reply back either via email or if they can give me a call. Mr. Young states that his voice box was moved on the second surgery that he had out of the 3. Right? Yeah. And so we're still waiting on our little special device as well. So they did, the process is ongoing for ordering his device with his physician, and it's still getting worked on. Our last conversation, I informed him that there is a cancer association here in Los Angeles that might be of some use and might be able to expedite those services. So that was our last conversation we had. So it was Mr. Young's lifelong dream to move here in Los Angeles. Plus, medically, he was able to get more services that he needed moving here to Los Angeles. Like living here is just like living anywhere else. I just take in the good with the bad and move forward. In God, he trusts. And I think that's how we link too, because he's very optimistic and I'm very optimistic type of person. So we kind of saw the challenge like head on, huh? It was like, all right, we're going to do this. So he never give up. I got 1,000 emails from Mr. Young, and so he kept me on my P's and Q's as well, and following up and making phone calls, and he'll email me top of the morning, Miss Hunley, and did you contact this property owner? And I'll be like, oh no, not yet. I'm gonna do it right now. So he allowed me to be human, because he knows that we work with a lot of people. But he was very patient with us. But every housing information I sent him, he did. He completed all the tasks. So he was very, very. He participated in a lot of his own housing search. And he's the first one that will go to any place to go seek. He was like, I'm going tomorrow. Like, okay. So we didn't have no issues on that part. So he was like really a good client. So I asked Mr. Young what does he like about his new home that he moved in September of 2022. And he states that he chose this location because of the risk of danger is low, in his opinion. It is a 1-bedroom, 4-unit duplex apartment, and it's not stacked up. One of the other units that was safe for him and for health-wise, he was looking for. Also, the neighbor are good and low profile. Oh, and the neighborhood is good, and also his neighbors are they keep a low profile, so that the atmosphere is very calm. It's not a lot of noise, not a lot of people hanging out. It's a very safe neighborhood. It's very clean because of his medical background. He needs everything to be dust free, right? So that he can be able to breathe and be able to move along. So he's one example of the voucher can go beyond, apartments. You can also find a duplex. And I told him, I said he has a little yard. I said maybe he can start a garden, grow some tomatoes or something like that. That would be wonderful. But yeah. So if safety was first for him when he was looking for a place. So he states, everything is early on, so I'm getting more attached to my surroundings every day. So he's loving his neighborhood. Mr. Young, we asked you if you worked with anyone else here in the Access Center of Weingart, and he states that, well, I worked with others prior to meeting LaQuesia. However, LaQuesia is the best case manager in Los Angeles, in my opinion. So, Mr. Young, we wanted to know if you had any words of encouragement for someone who's been in your shoes or something similar in your situation. And Mr. Young states that believe in yourself, listen to your mom, and show respect to others always. That's a sticker bumper. That's a bumper sticker right there. That's awesome. Yay.